but actually big red flying cap. We stood and chatted. We stood and chatted for a bit until I decided that she was not tipsy, but actually blackout drunk. And she started saying puns to me. At the beginning I was quite paranoid. I thought she had discovered who I was, but actually no. What do you call a werewolf that knows what it is? What? A werewolf. That's absolutely hilarious. I mean, that's something we learn in wolf school. Our conversations continued, and I served a bit of vodka myself because, I got a little bit tipsy. And I found out that she was going to her grandma to cure her illness with vodka and tea. Grandmas are crazy nowadays. Everything I remember is me zooming out in the unknown and drifting down a dark path of unconsciousness. Then I ended up in the ER once again with a newspaper on my tummy. You want to know what the article was about? Here it is. Big Bad Wolf. Truly bad or just lame? Apparently, this was the last straw. I had dressed in her grandmother's clothes and consumed the poor women. And unfortunately, that was my last straw as well. I retired. I started going to therapy. I started planting daffodils. I became a vegetarian. And now I'm speaking in this beautiful group therapy circle and absolutely being devastated. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Miruna. We'll ask for 1 minute silence for the judges now to please complete their tally sheets, as perhaps the organizers can put the next speaker on the pin, and the next speaker is Matai Patrask Balan. Matai, can you please indicate where you are?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We need you to
Okay.
be pinned. Just keep on speaking for a moment so they can find you, please.
Okay. I will keep speaking.
Here we go.
Okay.
They found you.
Can you hear my voice loud and clear and crisp?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time now to welcome Matai Patrask Balan with the importance of being idle. The importance of being idle, Matai Patrask Balan.
Finding the answer to the question, who am I, is pretty hard, I'll admit it. But despite its difficulty, I've embarked on a journey to get to the true meaning of this enigma. But, unfortunately, so far, I've only found more questions than answers. So, I tried again, but this time with the help of love. But how can you tell stuff about love, you might ask yourself? I'm sure you can associate romance with lots of other things. For example, relationships are a lot like algebra. Have you ever looked at your ex and wondered why? I know I have. Now, on a more serious note, let's talk about me and love. And with a very precise analysis, I've been able to detect the issue that's related to my problem with love. And that is the fact that I'm picky. very picky when it comes to girls. So picky, in fact, I think I have a problem. Now, when my eyes land on a girl, a lot of stuff happens. You know, the universe twists and turns, and it's always the same thing. My thoughts randomly drift to her, and I think of what to say, and all of these things take up a lot of time, man. You lose yourself in a storm of profound thoughts. And sometimes while you're thinking, there's also this thing called choice. Sometimes you have to choose this between this beautiful blonde girl and this equally beautiful brunette girl. And this choice just grinds your feelings and clutters your time with profound thoughts. But hey, you can choose both options if you want to become King Solomon. Now, love is like gambling. Did you know that 99% of gamblers give up right before their first big win? It's the same thing with love. Both the significant other and the slot machine can make you go into debt. After all, the ultimate cause of divorce is marriage. And even divorces cause debt, but hey, at least that's worth it. Now, a lot of people drift into relationships without really thinking about it. And we call those people men. And as a consequence, women invented the divorce when they get to keep everything. And we men perfected it. Think about it. King Henry VIII of England, this beautiful fella over here, pioneered a device that prevented men from going into financial ruin, the guillotine. But hey, anyways, girls aren't into practical things like cargo pants or honesty. They prefer plausible deniability in case things don't go too well. And when you enter the game of love, you have to know how to handle that, because in the end, you want to become like this guy, like James Bond over here, which has all the beautiful women, and he looks exactly like me. As you can see, we're dressed the same. Not like this guy, which decapitated 6 innocent women, destroyed the British economy, and went to war with France. But hey, we're drifting away from the subject over here. Coming back to me and love, things always take an interesting turn. I meet or see a girl, and my brain can only think about that person, who starts living rent-free in my head. And I start to overthink and plan out hundreds of different scenarios. And all of these things are very time and energy consuming, especially when the answer is no. And I happen to know that because I have received, also given a lot of no's, which is kind of depressing. Now, even if you do manage to go on a date and at the end you realize it was a massive disappointment and you are now heartbroken with less money in your bank account, I personally don't argue with girls. I kind of let that slide away, because arguing with girls is a bit like reading the terms and conditions on the internet. You eventually give up and agree. But it's also their fault. Think about it. Girls always communicate through subtle gestures, and nobody can understand them. Nobody can. Why can't you make my life easier and be more obvious? And oh, Maria, it's not called cheating. It's called a threesome, okay? Okay, hey, let me tell you a story. I recently dated a blonde girl. She was actually very cute. She had blue eyes, nice hair, you know, the whole package. And she was still on a parrot. That thing never shut up. But the parrot was pretty cool. We started dating in January, and it was naturally very cold outside. So I caught multiple colds during that winter because it was -5 and we were dating. That's how dedicated I was to this relationship. The thing was, she never got sick until I realized that she wouldn't get sick because even viruses have their own pride. And she was so blonde, she took a ruler to bed to find out how long she slept for. But after my failure with love, I reverted to meditating, to reflecting on my life. And I've discovered that there's a certain importance in being idle. Sometimes, when you're not pursuing the answers, they'll pursue you. And perhaps the only answer to who am I is a great one, hidden deep inside ourselves, visible only to the ones who take a deep dive into their own soul. Or go to a breakup.
Thank you, Matai. Could we once again have a minute's silence for the judges, please? Sanja Dodik, can you please speak so that we can find you? Sanja? It seems that Sanja isn't here. So judges, please note that on your template, you need to miss Sanja Dodik. We will come back to her if she comes back later into the meeting. And we'll continue with the next speaker, who is Hariharan. Hariharan, can you please speak to make yourself visible? Hariharan?
Yes, sir.
Have you found him, Trisha? Great. Trisha, is it possible to put the speaker on the other side of the screen and the timer on?
Yes, absolutely. All right.
Slightly blocked out. Much better. Thank you very much. So I think our judges will be ready by now. So I will introduce Hariharan. Hariharan will be speaking about missed class. Missed class. Hariharan.
Yes, sir. How are you, sir?
Hariharan, you can start your speech now.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. My name is Hariharan. Today, I am going to tell you about my personal story about missing my class. So it was a beautiful day and the sun was shining brightly in the sky. I was getting ready for my school. Actually, today was January 3rd, so I had to go to my native place. But since the flight was cancelled, I had to stay. I had to continue with my life. Bah. So when I entered the class, I then sat down in my place, and then everything looked different. There were lots of new children. The class looked different, and the project charts on the display board also looked a lot different. I thought maybe they just replaced the old charts with the new ones. I thought to myself. But the horrifying thing was that the teacher came in and started teaching social science studies instead of maths. How could this be happening? Is this a nightmare? Please wake me up. Help me. I thought to myself. I was really scared. After the ding, then the bell rang. It was time for the second period Hindi, not English. And how could this be happening when I copy my timetable accurately? How could this be happening? It was so crazy. Then after that was the break period. So when I stepped out of my class, I looked up. The sign would says 5C instead of 5A. I entered the wrong class. Oh no. Shamefully, I returned back to my class. And then after that, Mama asked me, Hariharan, where were you all this time? I told, sorry ma'am, I was in the wrong class by mistake. I entered there. Then ma'am said, can't you see the signboard while entering? How can you be so careless? I started crying. and, and then I had to eat my break with tears in my eyes. It was all so bad. Then by accident, I licked one of them. Yuck, too salty. Really? Is it because of the burger I had yesterday? Oh no. Maybe I should become a non-burgerian or something. I thought to myself. Oh. Then after returning home, I opened my laptop and started talking with Bing Chat. It was normal. I used to share things with Bing Chat, either of the movies I watched or any experiences I had, any special experiences. I would share it with Bing Chat. So then I told Bing Chat about my experience of missing my class. It said, you dumb, you are a brainless lump. Your head is full of squashed flies, I think. I became so sad. I started crying again. Again, I had to taste those salty tears again. Yuck! Really? Oh no. I went and told this to my mother. Why? I felt a lot hurt. And then my mother said, it's okay, Hari. Bing is only dumb. Don't listen to it. Then she hugged me. I felt a touch of kindness, a sudden touch of kindness. Then I happily walked back to my bedroom to take a little rest. And then suddenly something hugged me from nowhere. Wait, what was that? What was that? What was that? Help! What was that? Ghost! Ghost! There's a ghost hugging me! Help me! I cried out. Then I opened my eyes. The landscape was blurry. Hey, what's happening? And then I opened my and then it was all clear. My mother was sitting next to me. Oh, phew, it was all a nightmare. I don't get to miss the class at all. I'm so lucky. It was all a relief. I heaved a sigh of relief. Oh. And then my mother said, come, let's go to Chennai. Oh, I get to go to Chennai. So then I got ready, threw on some clothes and set off for the airport. Thank you. And I would like to thank AGORACON International for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you again.
Thank you, Hari Haran. You did very well. Can we please have that minute silence for the judges? Sanja, are you now here? I have had a message from Sanja that she will be joining us. So we'll carry on. And if she is not here when we get to the end of the speakers, then she will be too late. But in the meantime, we'll carry on and hopefully she will be here in that time. Thank you for the silence for the judges. We will now ask our next speaker, Justin Marion. Can we please? That's great. I see you already have Justin. Justin Marion will be speaking to us about a menu of questions. A menu of questions, Justin Marion?
The world is a huge place. It extends to unknown limits and seems to never end. It is full of questions. With every second that passes, a new question appears, and with every question answered, two more surface. An example of this is the well-known question, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, we have an answer from Wikipedia. The egg came first. But then another question, how did the egg appear? Was it willed into existence because people wanted the full English breakfast? Or did aliens bring it to Earth? So many questions, yet no answers. There are many types of questions, from what if type of questions to why. For example, what if the world is just a simulation and I'm the only one truly alive in it? Still, there is no answer to this question, although it is a bit far-fetched. But while we're on the topic of far-fetched questions, another one is why cats seem to think they are kings and queens, yet dogs seem to think they are guardians. Our first answer comes from science and says that it is because of their genetic code and because they have been trained to act this way. But I don't like that answer because it's too sciencey for me, so we'll dismiss it. Another answer, submitted by totally not an alien Mike, says that cats are totally not alien queen hive minds that try to capture the earth into an alien empire, and dogs totally don't try to protect us from. Well, Mike did say that he's not an alien, so we should believe him. Cats are not aliens, and dogs don't try to protect us from them. But then, one other easy question. Why is bacon called bacon and cookies called cookies? If you cook bacon and bake cookies, why aren't they called bakies and cook-on? I know, it sounds a little silly, but it makes more sense. Before, I mentioned that questions may vary from what if to why, but there is another criteria, such as whether they are open-ended or closed-ended. For example, open-ended questions. If two vegans are arguing, is it still considered beef? No, it's considered a potato. If you stab a cereal box, are you a serial killer? No, that's called being a grain stabber. How does a taco say grace? Let us pray. What do you call a fish wearing a bow tie? Sophisticated. What is the worst kind of tea? Reality. What did the ocean say to the beach? Nothing, it just waved. What did the police officer say to his hungry stomach? Freeze, you are under arrest. And close-ended questions. For example, if our fingers have fingertips, why don't our fingers have toe tips? Why do our toes have toe tips? Because we can tip toe, but we can't tip finger. If we have watermelon, shouldn't we also have fire melon, earth melon, and wind melon, the elemelons? If two mind readers are reading each other's mind, whose mind are they reading? If our parents told us to never take candy from strangers, then what is Halloween? What if cats are smarter than humans because they understand some orders, but humans don't understand any meows? Does a straw have one hole or two holes, ladies and gentlemen? Well, if you didn't understand by now, my point is that some questions just don't have an answer, and maybe they should be left that way. Besides, why should you know why, although all of your fingers have different lengths, they all line up when you curl them in?
Thank you, Justin. We'll have the minute silent for the judges, please. Great. Sanjay Dodik, are you now in the audience? I did get a message from Sanja 42 minutes ago saying that she was about to join us. Sanja, are you here? Please speak if you are here so we can find you. Okay, thank you everyone for your attention. Tisha, you can remove the share screen. Unfortunately, Sanja was not able to make it. It seems like there are issues from America because earlier on, Julie also had a problem. So we will continue with the program, Tisha. Thank you very much for your assistance.
Thank you very much, Chris, for being our contest master and holding the very first speech competition day for Humorous Speech Contest. All of the participants and speakers did a wonderful job. I honestly had a blast listening to many of the humorous ideas that I never would have thought would actually gotten to that point either. We went from wolves to little jokes as well on the whiteboard. Like, oh boy, it really looks like I just want to go back to kindergarten and learn this all over again. Like the first time I've heard it for the first time. Okay, so we will now move on to a little question and answer session that I believe Mike would like to hold for us for tonight's next agenda. Mike, are you here with us?
Thank you, Trisha. I am. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, yes. The internet's back.
Fantastic. Internet is behaving. Okay, so what we would like to do is use this time we have as a feedback session. So there are several others in the
Sorry, Mike, your
Voice.
yes, your voice.
yeah, my mute went again. Okay, what I was saying, I'm not sure how much you heard. What we're going to do now is a free and easy question answer session. There are no things as stupid questions, so ask what you like. If I cannot help with an answer, there are some other ambassadors in the audience. So between us, I'm sure we will be able to give you an answer. Or we may find some answers in the audience. So, Trisha, take it away. Start twisting arms.
All right, it looks like that someone in the chat box has just fired the very first question. Now, I think this is a question that can be answered free for all, Mike, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, the first question is by
Fire away.
Angela Lansbury. Hi, Angela. The question is, what inspired the start of Agora? Now, I'm sure that the right person to answer this would be none other than our founder himself. So, would Alexander like to start answering this question? Oh, it looks like Alexander is hiding behind the bushes right now. Okay, well, in that case, perhaps we can ask some of the ambassadors as well, because undoubtedly ambassadors are the ones to start Agora in many different countries, so perhaps we can get a little bit of insight from that. Maybe we can start off with the only ambassador that I can see at the moment is Mike. Mike, who do you spy with your eyes?
Let me make a start. Okay, just to give you a clue for future questions, what happened on August 21? What is August 21 famous for? Anybody have an answer? August 21 is the anniversary of the foundation of Agora. And that's why we have AGORACON on the following weekend. We will do AGORACON Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday until we change. So August 21 was the anniversary. Agora is now 7-year-old. And as you note from the backdrops, this is our 4th AGORACON. We had one in Portugal, first year, very successful. And then we had COVID. So we went into shock like a lot of other people, organizations, and we did nothing for 2 years. And then we went into the mountains of the Himalayas. We did AGORACON number 2 in Nepal, in Kathmandu. And the following one last year, 2022, we did from India. And this year we're in Indonesia. So basically we're moving around the world. And what started Agora was a desire by a group of people to do something and give back. We were all experienced Toastmasters or other speaker organizations, and we had got a lot out of being public speakers in our own lives, and we wanted to return the compliment, give something back. So basically, we had a negotiation with an organization for about 3 years to suggest some changes, and nothing came of that. And then 7 years ago, we decided to go and do our own thing. And that thing is Agora. Does anybody know what Agora stands for, the word Agora? Any suggestions?
Marketplace in Greece.
Yeah, that's where the pillars in the logo come from. And why is Greece important, Angela?
Foundation of rhetoric.
Yeah, that's one of the things that the Greeks were good at 2,000+ years ago.
They didn't have the internet,
the word Agora,
so they had to speak.
Sorry?
They didn't have the internet, so they had to speak in person.
That's absolutely right. What a novel suggestion. Maybe we should try that next year. So Agora in Indonesia, for those Indonesians listening, is alun-alun. It's the clearing in the middle of the village or the town where people used to go to speak, make public speeches. And that is where we got the name from. So it's a place originally, long time ago, in Greece, where people came together and they used to have speeches there. So that's the reason for Agora, the name Agora. But I say the organization was a desire, as I say, to put something back into the community. And that's why it is vehemently held that we will not charge. Like this convention is free. You don't pay to come and join us. Yeah, I mean, if we do face-to-face at some time in the future, obviously there will be a hotel involved, no doubt. There will be venue costs, there will be accommodation, travel costs. Yeah, Agora is not made of money. Yeah, so people will need to pay their own expenses, and we will share whatever costs there are, but there is no profit. There is no need for profit. Nobody in Agora gets paid. We are all volunteers. At the moment, we have about 30 ambassadors around the world. We have about 30 plus countries that we're operating in. And I think we're about 230 clubs worldwide. I think the last one that I know, I heard was 215, but there are other clubs in process that I know of. So we're in about the 230 plus category. So Agora is growing really quickly. Yeah, in 7 years to get to 230 clubs is quite an achievement. So I think all of us Agorians should pat ourselves on the back. But this is just the beginning. Yeah, this is the beginning. We set up a training scheme, the basic education program, which is online. You just go into the internet and it's there for everybody to see. And in the background, we're working on other advanced speaking programs, training programs. But to get to them, they're hidden away. To get to them, you need to complete basic manuals 1 to 16, projects 1 to 16. So when you complete the basic manual, then we will allow you into the advanced manuals, plural, many. Okay, so that's really what we're doing. And we have a desire, if you read our wiki, we have a desire to do some social projects. So yeah, we're open. We're open. And we will talk during these 4 days about some of the things that have been happening.
All
Okay, so
right.
Angela, does that give you a glimmer of an idea of an answer?
Yes, thank you very much.
Or should I ask Rajendra, who's sitting next to you from my point of view? Are there any other ambassadors that would like to fill in some of the gaps?
Perhaps some of the ambassadors can also help with answering this question right here, Mike, by Hassan. The question is, are most of the Agora clubs now conducting their activities online? It would be great if I could find clubs by country and in person or online. Okay, it looks like somebody is really itching to do a meeting in real life here. Okay. Are there any Agora clubs that are perhaps not conducting the activities online? Maybe we can have some of our wonderful ambassadors to help answer that.
Yes, there are. I mean, Singapore now has one online and one face-to-face meeting each month. Yeah, it used to be twice a month virtually. Now it's only once a month. And there are other clubs. I mean, here in Indonesia, we have face-to-face meetings. Guess where? Lombok. Lombok, because the technology is not so hot. So it's easier to talk face-to-face than rely on computers and internet. So there is nothing magical about virtual meetings. They were something that came up. At some stage, we would like to go back to face-to-face. I mean, that's the typical way that people learn to speak, is you actually look at somebody, you talk to somebody, you can touch them if you need to. But virtual meetings are extremely convenient. For instance, this meeting, this AGORACON, yeah, it is very cheap to attend. So we have a lot of benefits, but it's something the ambassadors will talk about in September and onwards. Yeah, how do we go forward with AGORACON next year, 2024? And yeah, it's open. I mean, this is your club, not our club. We're here to help. But if you have suggestions as members, things you would like to do, yeah, we need to know, because we ambassadors, we have a monthly meeting, and we're open, wide open to suggestions. So we're planning in September onwards to look at the training program. How do we make it more attractive to members. So yeah, I mean, nothing is cast in concrete. We really do want to listen. We want to have feedback from people that are the audience, yeah, that are the customers, so to speak. So Fred is hiding down there. Fred, would you like to make some comments about the youth side of things?
Certainly, I can help you with that, Mike. As far as how much time, what's on the agenda? I don't want to start talking and then you find, oh, he's still talking and we got to get on the agenda. How much time do we have here?
No, we have plenty of time.
Okay. Well, I would answer Angela's question.
We have 1 hour.
Okay, I would answer Angela's question about what I know about the start of Agra. I was speaking to Alexander many years ago when I was discussing joining as far as youth programs are concerned. And he told me the story that Toastmasters has put up their fees, and he was asking the question, what do you want the money for? And he wasn't getting answers. And he attended the convention, and he was asking questions, and people weren't giving him answers. And one person said to him, if you don't like what we're doing, why don't you start your own? And he said, they should never have said that to me, because that's what he's done.
Done deal.
Now,
Done deal. No.
I will admit I still belong to a Toastmasters club. They're my friends. But there's nothing like Agra, because it's totally different and we're not in competition. We offer a totally different flavor, and I really like this flavor. It's a wonderful flavor because the mission statement is very meaningful to me. We empower you to become a brilliant communicator and a confident leader who will actively build a better world. And that's what I see us doing through Agra, helping actively build a better world. That is so meaningful to me. So that's the answer to that. Now, as far as face-to-face clubs, it's time, in my opinion, to start face-to-face clubs. We got so comfortable now with our online clubs that we think, oh, this is nice. It is nice. It is wonderful because we can do this international, but we need our face-to-face clubs as well. So in Canada, we don't have many face-to-face clubs. In fact, we don't have many clubs. But what I've started now, and I'm trying to do, is I've got a coffee shop, and the owner, I don't own it, but the owner and me have discussed it, and he is pro setting up an Agra club. And so we've been working on that for the past few weeks, and we meet every Wednesday face to face, and it's wonderful. And I think that this is the start of a seed in Canada that I envisage we'll have coffee shops across Canada with Agra clubs in it. That's my dream. We're still starting with the first one, but I think it's now time that COVID is over. Face to face is just as important, if maybe even more important than online. So those are my opinions, and I'm an old man who's retired, and this Agra has really become so important to me. Everybody needs a mission and something in life that they can get excited about, and Agra has done that for me. I can assure you. I really encourage anyone who can help others improve themselves in their communication skills to look at what Agra has to offer. It's an amazing, amazing platform. So that is my answers. Okay, thanks, Mike.
I'd just like to add a little bit of spice to Fred's comments about Toastmasters. When Alex and some of us were discussing with Toastmasters what was going on, one of the questions we had was, Toastmasters is a not-for-profit organization. Fred mentioned they were putting the fees up at a time when they had $40 million US in the bank or shares. And we were saying, because we, at the grassroots, that were running the clubs, were doing it for free. We don't get paid. And we're saying, you know, this is a contradiction. Yeah, we're charging people money and we have all of this money in the bank. We're not a finance house. We're not here as an investment organization. We're here to provide speaking skills. And that 40 million has gone down. It's about 20 million, I think. Not that I'm looking, but I think 3-4 years ago, they moved to Colorado from California. They bought a bigger office. They spent a lot of money in that move. So again, you know, this is not what we're about. What we want is to provide people with value, not for money, because there is no money. But it's a really interesting thing. So yeah, this is a experiment. Nobody's done it yet. Toastmasters 100 years ago, next year, was also an experiment. It worked really well. I was like Fred, I left Toastmasters, not because I wanted to. Like Fred, I have a lot of, half of my address book of Toastmasters. And I was a Toastmaster for about 24 years. And I left because I just couldn't keep up with what was an Agora meeting terminology and what was Toastmaster. And I thought, hey, I'm doing too many things in Indonesia with Agora. Yeah, I just move on. And I did, I left. It was sad because, as I say, it was my life for 25 years. But yeah, it's a great experience. Life changes. Yeah, we take the opportunity, we do something where we can see an opportunity coming and we put it into practice. And there are some great things going to happen in Agora, believe me. I mean, I just have that feeling, yeah. I mean, in Indonesia, you know, we have one school. We have a lot of people here today. I mean, the people that are helping us with the internet, they provided the Zoom account for this meeting, 300 seats. Yeah, Darul Abedin School is an Islamic school, middle school, private school, and they set up 10 clubs in their one school. Slightly novel, a little bit different. They are at the moment focused on virtual meetings. And we are now having, we had for 3 months once a month, but now they're at school again, where we're doing meetings every Friday night at 8 o'clock. And we have up to 300 of the students come to the Agora clubs in one Zoom meeting. So we do common activities, maybe education session, whatever, at the beginning, 15 minutes, and then the rest of the meeting is in 10 separate breakout rooms, which are the 10 separate clubs. Eventually, we will evolve each of those breakout room clubs to have their own exco, etc., etc. So that, again, is, you know, quite efficient of time. And yeah, it's just one way forward. I mean, the amazing thing about Indonesia is there are 84,000 schools. 84,000 schools. And if we can go into schools here in Indonesia, what a major change we will make. Really a big difference. And I think all of us experienced speakers, we know the transition that happens to people when they go through the process. I mean, Trisha is Trisha's going to go as red as me in a minute. Trisha is a good example of what happens. 6 years ago, I still remember the pigtails, and Trisha was 12 at that time. And she was not a speaker. And 6 years later, she can rule the world. And she did last year. She won so many prizes at the speech contest. She got banned this year. No, she could have gone in the ones she didn't win. But no, this is a great example. Yeah, people go through a process. It doesn't happen overnight. As Duncan said, you know, you cannot learn to be a public speaker in one session. It's a process. It's a lifelong process. And it is such an important process in our lives. Yeah, we need to spend the time. We need to invest the time. Warren Buffett in his office, he's, I don't know, what, 83, 4, 5 now. He has one certificate on his wall. It's for public speaking. And people come into his office and they say, Warren, why have you got that public speaking certificate? You're a financier. You're one of the richest people in the world. He said, hey, that certificate, public speaking training that I did, years and years ago with a guy called Dale Carnegie. He wrote a book in, I know, 1905. I'm not sure when he was born, but he was even there before Toastmasters. And Dale Carnegie gave Warren Buffett some public speaker training, and Buffett says that has given him more value, financial value, than anything else he's learned in his degrees, in his other business ventures. Public speaking is so important, really so important. Here in Indonesia, obviously, it is a great way to practice your English. We're not here as a language school, but it's a great opportunity to practice your English and do two things at the same time. Gain public speaking experience, and that leads on to self-confidence. My background was 45 years in human resources. I, like Fred, have long been retired. And it is a really noticeable thing as an HR manager when people come for interview and they are not quite shaking from the time they leave the door, but they're very nervous. They're probably not going to get the job because there are other people come in much more confidently who can do the job, can do what you want, and they will get the opportunity. So it's really important financially for people. Become good speakers, become confident in your abilities. Yeah, so this is something that is going to change, I think, people's lives. It really will change people's lives. So Agora is fantastic. It really is. I mean, it's a great spirit, great camaraderie. And it is, as we see, looking around the faces on our 4 or 5 screens, that it is very multinational, very multinational. So this is the way forward. Yeah, we will combine our resources. We will help each other to improve. Next time, better speech. Next time, better whatever we're trying to do. Okay, any other questions in the box, Trisha?
Yeah, hello. Yes, can you hear me?
I
Rajendra.
can. Rajendra, please say something.
Well, I am Rajendra. By the way, those who do not know me, I am the ambassador for Agora in Ethiopia, an African country. I think Addis Ababa. I am talking from Addis Ababa. Hello, everyone. And just I would like to add something. What about Toastmaster? I was also a Toastmaster, and I reached up to silver. This what you call competent leader, and what you call the advanced level, advanced speaker silver. And then I left Toastmaster. The reason is I found that it became a cult. Toastmaster people were favoring, and I saw the standard was going down of the speeches. Friends were helping others, just trying to make them DTMs, and not giving chance to everyone, just trying to be DTMs very quickly. And this was the reason I left Toastmaster. And second thing, as Mike has said, they become very money-minded people. Now, if you see that they have no what you call hard copies, they are selling every manual now, and they ask like $25, as I come to know. Whereas Agora, I feel there is a big difference between Agora and Toastmasters. Agora is a very family. When we join Agora and when we have meetings, we are like not only members, we are like family in Agora. We discuss so openly, and we not only stop there. We have post-Agora sessions where we meet and talk, and we discuss about our personal issues also. So it becomes like a family. So Agora is entirely different from Toastmaster, I can say. And I found it really, really very useful for the young people. I recently started a club in my school, in Greek Community School, and not only for the school, but a club as a youth club. And I'm surprised that really people, youngsters are very much interested to be good public speakers. They want to be leaders. So I think there's a lot of opportunity in Agora. And I wish that everyone should join Agora, because we should have to have some time to be a better speaker, a better leader, that we can create the future. And due to my presence in Ethiopia, it was very surprising that I was interviewed by the national newspaper about Agora under the diplomatic umbrella. And they considered Agora as the bridge between Spain and Ethiopia. Imagine, Agora has gone that much far. So I think that Agora has a very bright future. And if we all try well, I think we will be very successful. And I wish all the best. That I wish that everyone should join Agora to be a competent leader and a wonderful public speaker. Back to you, Trisha.
Thank you, Rajendra. Wow, that is I I am, as somebody who is still 19 years old, I do not have the years of experience to say how amazing Agora is, but at least through 6 years of being you can say inside Mike's tribe for that long time, I've definitely gained a lot of experience, and being able to socialize and network with people who are not the same age as me, a lot older, but at the same time, we're still able to connect. I used to have many friends. Until now, we are still friends as well, but we don't keep in touch as often as before. But back then, somewhere during 2019 to 2021, we used to go to many Agora clubs traveling, not 2019, sorry, 2020. So the start of the pandemic, everything went online, and that's where we decided, you know what, I think it should be nice for us to get out of our nest, our club, and see what's going on out there. So we visited Canada, we visited Singapore, South Africa, and it was such a fun experience. Maybe not a fun experience for my sleep schedule, but hey, it was still worth it. All right. Okay, Mike.
Trisha,
Yes.
I have seen you starting the clubs. You remember in Romania we met also, and I was attending Romania club, and I know I liked very much. And where you have reached, I can say that it is Agora who brought you today to run a full convention meeting. I know when first time you joined Agora, you came there. I remember you, and we have out of the Agora talk also we have discussed and all that. So
yes.
You are the living example what Agora can do to a person. Thank you.
Oh boy. Thank you, Rajendra. Well, it's all thanks to the guidance and the people that are willing to actually deal with me as well, because oh boy, I can I can be a little bit of a nuisance sometimes, but hey, it looks like Mike is still able to bear with me. So here I am today, and I will say, yes, the spirit that Agora presents, there's no competition, I feel. Like even during speech trainings back then, when I joined AGORACON as well as a competitor, there were many speech practices, but I didn't feel like any of the participants or any of the competitors, you would say, are trying to be better than the other person. Even if they know that, oh, I'm going to be competing with you, they're still able to give feedback and evaluation without feeling like, oh, they're going to be much better than me. No, there was nothing at all. It was just teamwork. It was unity and collaboration. And that is such a great spirit to have. That's why I think that Agora is an amazing place for us to not only develop our public speaking skills, but also to network and make friends. And that is honestly the valuable experience. All right. Okay, Mike, do we have anyone else that would like to ask any questions?
Yeah, Aaron would like you to ask him a question, which is in the chat box.
Oh, okay. Aaron, yes. Oh, okay. Yes, absolutely, Aaron. I think this is the first time that we've met as well. Hello, Aaron. Would you like to share a little word or two about why you joined Agora? Okay.
Quite a long story actually. Since you guys are all on the topic of Toastmasters, I had my own share next. Okay, but anyway, so I mean, in Toastmaster, my kind of well known. You can type my name, you can Google me, and basically find a lot of my stuff there. I joined Agora a couple of years ago. The reason why is because I've seen a fair share of nonprofit organizations, and Agora actually provide the flexibility, and moreover, it actually genuinely cares for the people there. It gives us a speaking platform that basically within the context of education, we actually have the rooms for flexibility to train ourselves as speakers. It doesn't have any intrusions or anything that affects the efficiency and effectiveness of these clubs. There are so many things that you can play in Elgaro clubs. Moreover, we focus on their growth and progress. And I was talking with Alexander for over a couple of years before I shift and change to I'm no longer a Toastmaster anymore. But I've been a Toastmaster for 16 years. It took me so long just to get out there. When I realized that, like, if you in Toastmaster, there are 4 things I really did for them. My matrix, online speech contest. I was the one who actually helped them to make the speech rules too. I also did all the education things that that program has to offer, but it's not even compared half the level of the competencies in here. And it just shows that I can learn more and break my potential limits there. Because for me as a speaker and also a contestant, I love competing every single year. I love to top myself up, and Agora is a place for me to really be better at myself. Although I can't join contests as an ambassador, but it just have that drive there. Is also give me a lot of different. When I started clubs in China, there are 2 to 3 clubs in China for Elgaro, and it took a long time because in China, Toastmaster being shut down in 3 different cities because they have violated the governmental rules. So I was actually spending the first 2 years just to talk and negotiate with the government, and also to talk with different parties. I had a very hard ordeal, but it was really worth it. And nowadays, I've been working with different local entities to really push for Elgaro students actually join in more. We have youth, we have the community supporting, and sending members to really give workshops, and then we also like learn a lot of different things for them. So it's like it's building a very mini community, and then it's growing bigger every single year. During the COVID wise, we turned online. We have been online for like quite some time there as well. But then for me, it's the belief that doesn't let me waver in this organization, and I have quite a lot of faith in here. It's also a pleasure like meeting Mike. We also have Fred, who's focusing on youth wise. I was focusing on different aspects too. I was focusing on prisons and rehabilitated prisoners, refugees, and also people with disabilities. So my Elgaro Club actually has this group of people too. So we have different people that we try to nurture, let them to be a speaker and impact the community wise. So I see there is a chain of effects here. So let's keep on believing in Elgaro. Now back to you.
Thank you so much, Aaron, for sharing. I see. Okay. So it's quite the long history as well from Toastmasters to now that you're in Agora. I think we have quite a lot of friends here who have already experienced Toastmasters before. I will say that I am a part of that gang as well, mostly because my mother and my grandfather was also once a Toastmaster, and that's how I kind of just got infected with getting along with the flow. But hey, here we are, and now we meet in Agora, so things change, you know. Everything has its evolution. All right. Okay, so would anyone else like to give a question, or perhaps maybe we can have a little conversation with friends here who may not be too involved in Agora yet or still new to the convention first of all. I'd like to ask this question. How many Agora meetings have everyone here attended? Maybe we can start off with the ones, I'm sure that the ambassadors have already attended many, many meetings. It's definitely uncountable. But let's ask maybe Miss Monica here, or perhaps Fanny from Darul Abidin School as well. Do you guys go to Agora often? Okay, maybe it looks like they're still a little shy at the moment. Okay. Mike, do we have our speakers ready at the moment?
I am just looking. I've not had a response from Vijayanti. Is anybody on the Indian
Ah, I see. Well, that's
contingent
all right. because
aware
we
of
have-
discussion? What we're suggesting for, well, we might as well ask you now, is for the showcase, the youth showcase that India is going to host now. We do it soon. We do it like now. So
Mike,
are people ready?
Mike, you just need to give me 5 minutes. I'll just check whether everyone logged in.
Yep.
Because
Okay.
as per the time given to them, it was
Yeah,
9:30 IST. So we are half an hour early. Just give me
an
5
half an hour
minutes.
early.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Just give me
no,
5
no
minutes.
problem.
Yeah.
Trish,
Thank you.
Trish and I can do battle over some other questions.
I believe we
Trisha,
have-
why? I have one question for you. I should really not ask you, but why are you still with us after 6 years of me?
Oh, putting
you
me
not
into
got
the
fed up
spotlight
yet?
now, Mike.
What is it that keeps you going in Agora? Yeah, you in the spotlight. What keeps you going in Agora?
I think as simple of an answer for all of my other activities, I would have said that I continued Agora because I had nothing better to do. Back then, it would be that answer. But now, after coming to Agora, coming to Achievers, which is my club for countless of times, and then seeing how dynamic every meeting is. Of course, we have a fixed agenda, we have a rundown, but in the end, with the different ages, we have 9-year-olds coming to the meeting, and we also have 19-year-olds like myself. There's always new topics, new conversations to share, and to me, I think that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me coming back, because as much as people say, oh, you're the type of person who loves to speak, and I can say the same. I do love to share stories, but not as much as I love listening to them. And I think that Agora is a place where people can share many stories, and it's about their life, about what they did last weekend, and it's always in a way that makes my ears just perk up and want to listen even more. So that's the reason why I keep on coming back to Agora. There's always something new. There's something different every meeting. That's what I look forward to.
As I said in the middle of what I was talking about, it's your club as members. Yeah, if you have something you'd like to try it. Yeah, we are experimenting, all of us. If we can find a better way of doing something that is more enjoyable, more productive, let's do it.
Exactly.
I think one of the problems with other organizations is they're very hidebound, very bureaucratic. And we definitely try not to be bureaucratic in Agora. So it is much more flexible. Maybe some people don't like that flexibility, but I think an awful lot of people do like it. So hopefully that's the way we will continue. And we will grow this organization to fit us. So, any other question? I think Vijayanti is marshalling her troops into active mode.
I would like to know one thing from the ones that are still active here. What time is it in everybody's place at the moment? Perhaps we can start with Chris or Casey. Hello, Casey.
About 5:30 in the evening.
Ooh, in the evening. Half- okay.
It's 8:30 in the morning here in Canada.
Wow, still fresh bread.
Yeah, I had to
All
get
right,
up.
just
I had to get up about 5:30 in the morning to be able to film that.
wow. That can never be me. I'm usually still asleep at that time.
I
All right,
just
how about
waited
Chris?
up on the road before the milkman was out delivering his pints of milk in the United Kingdom.
It is 6:27 p.m. here in Ethiopia.
Okay, evening. Yeah.
6:27. Okay, okay.
Yes,
It seems
yeah, yeah.
it still looks pretty bright outside there, Rajendra, or is that only your house
Yes,
light?
yes, it is bright,
It's
but it
bright.
is rainy season. Actually, it is rainy season and it is cloudy.
I see.
If it is sunny, then it is very bright, of course. But 6:27 now, exactly as per watch PM, and it's very comfortable time for me to attend Agora, Indonesia. Because
Awesome.
it's wonderful time, free from everything, just sitting at home, having a cup of coffee, enjoying my snacks and enjoying Agora convention with Mike and you people.
That is so sweet. I don't think I can remember a single AgoraCon experience where I did not stay up until 12 a.m. in the evening. But again, still very worth it. Okay. All right. Anybody else? Anyone else from different countries? Chris?
Well, Trisha, of course, I'm in the same country as Casey, so the time is the same. It's about 5. And you can see behind me, the sun is just setting.
Oh,
That would be a great experience to be having an Agora meeting while watching the sunset. Oh boy, that is awesome. Okay, we have, I believe, oh, okay, I thought that Jeremy was turning on his video. It turns out it was only a picture. Okay. Anyone else from, okay, Angela. Angela is in Singapore, I believe. Yes?
It's coming up to 11:30 p.m.
Oh,
What time
yes.
is it where you are, and which bit of Indonesia are you in?
Yes, we are 1 hour behind Singapore, so it would be. Oh, sorry, we are ahead. Are we ahead? We are behind, yes. Actually, okay, that would take me back to the times where I
no,
almost.
behind. We're behind.
We are behind, yes.
You're 10:27.
10:30 in Indonesia.
That's
Indonesia,
right.
we have 3 time zones.
So which one are you? Is 10:30?
Keep going. Angela.
Which time zone is which?
We're west, WIB, West Indonesia time. Well, we have Jakarta, Java, Sumatra, which is near Singapore. And then we have Papua, which is 2 hours different to our time here in Java. And we also have Makassar, which is 1 hour different, Sulawesi. So going across the 6,000 kilometer spread of Indonesia, yeah, we are on the west. We're closest to Singapore and Malaysia.
So Angela,
Okay,
wait for us to
DJ,
stop by
we'd like
very
another
soon.
10 minutes. So keep talking. We have choice.
Okay, I believe Marcia is in. Where, Marcia, you are in? Yes.
Yes, I live in Georgia, which is on the east coast of the United States. And it's interesting, it's almost, well, it's just about 11:30 here. So is that the same as Singapore? It's just we're, what, a day apart or something like that?
I see.
Same time?
No, Singapore's in the evening. You're 11:30 in the morning, and they're 11:30 at night.
Okay, well, it's the same time.
Morning.
It's 12 hours difference, that's all.
Yes, yes.
Oh boy. I think it's quite a funny realization when you have, let's say you have friends who are long distance and the time zone is 12 hours difference. You would see them sending very random messages at 3 a.m. and then realizing, oh yes, they're 12 hours behind me or ahead of me. Okay, but that's amazing. Even with the different time zones, we are still able to gather here in one place. Either it's the ones that need to sacrifice just a little bit of sleep, but that is still fine. That is still something that goes along with the Agora package, at least for me. Okay, all right. We also have, I see there's Sirisha with us. Hi, Sirisha. Where are you from?
I'm from India. I'm actually Sagarika. Sirisha is is the name of my mother, actually. My name is
Oh, I'm
Sagarika.
sorry. Okay, what's your name?
I'm Sagarika, actually.
Sabrika. Ah, okay. How long have you been joining Agora?
I think this is the first time.
First time? Oh, okay. All right. All the ambassadors, be nice to her, okay? Don't worry, no one here bites. Okay, so this is your very first, AgoraCon is your very first Agora meeting then? We can say that?
Yes.
Okay, well then, I hope that you can join more of the meetings as well because this is the big convention, so that's why you see plenty of people, lots of ones from different countries as well. But in a normal setting, usually there are around the most I've seen 20 people in a meeting, and then that's where you can make friends and you can get to know them even better. Honestly, Agora is just a nice place for you to just chat and have a nice time. Maybe Saturday morning, kind of promoting my club as well. We meet on Saturday morning.
Oh.
And, just chill in the weekend after a very long day of 5 days of work or maybe school. All right. Okay.
Yeah, Trisha, we are ready to go.
Okay, awesome. All right then. So everybody, thank you so much for all the ambassadors and everybody else who participated. We had a little bit of a conversation, storytelling session about the history of how each of us joined Agora. But now it is time for us to jump into a junior speaker showcase. All right, that is going to be led by Vijayanti. I hope that I pronounced the name correctly, or you can give me a short course on that. All right, Vijayanti, please take over the stage for the junior speaker show.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I'm Vaijayanti, and I am from India, and I'm a mentor for the juniors youth clubs all over my country. Presently, we are very much active. We are in a hybrid mode. So you want to join us on Sundays, we meet at 10 a.m. IST. So it's a hybrid mode, both offline as well as via Zoom. So I would like to bring in my speakers who are ranging from ages 8 to 21 as of now. And currently my club keeps growing. So we started off with one club, and today we have 4 active clubs. And shortly, by the end of this month, I will be enrolling a school, entire school will be a youth club. So that will be a close to 450 members. So without further ado, let me introduce one of my star speakers. She is just 6 months into Agora, and she has delivered speeches, and today she is going to present her speech in front of the entire audience. So please put your hands together for Sagarika.
Am I audible to everybody?
Yes, Sagarika.
Okay, then I'll start. Hi, friends. My name is C. Sagarika, and I'm from Vishaka Orators Group, and I'm living in India. So today I'm going to tell you all about reducing of green cover on Earth. There is an old Chinese proverb which says the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time to plant a tree is now. So, do you know which is my most favorite place in this world? It's the hill stations like Araku, which makes me so happy. It has fog, clouds, cold winter mornings. But do you know what I like the most about hill stations? It's the trees. Whenever the trees are bathed in the rain or visited by clouds, the lush greenery just makes me so happy. But when I come back into this city, Visakhapatnam, I see that the trees are being cut to make way for apartments and malls. As exciting as malls may seem, it makes me wonder, what if there were no trees left in this world? Just imagine a silvery world with shiny glass buildings, peopled with entertaining play zones, restaurants, and cinemas. A dark world like Gotham, with black smoke from factories and vehicles hovering below the clouds. A silent world with no chirping of birds and with people running around wearing oxygen masks, refilling them in oxygen gas stations. Do you think I'm talking about a colony in Mars? Well, if deforestation continues at its current rate, then I'm afraid that our generation will be charged with reducing our beautiful blue planet to a desolate ball of dust. No doubt about it. Who knows? Someday we might have to set up to Mars or the moon. Did you know that we lose approximately 10 million hectares of forests every year? That the forests equal to 27 football fields are lost due to deforestation every minute? So effectively, we have lost 1/3 of the forest cover on Earth. Our forests are crucial carbon sinks, which means they absorb the carbon dioxide emitted by us. But today, we are cutting down 15 billion trees per year by turning these carbon sinks into carbon sources, which means when we cut down trees, the carbon dioxide stored in these trees is released back into the atmosphere. Deforestation has led to the loss of ecosystems, loss of biodiversity, but it had mainly triggered climate change. So, climate change. This year itself, we have seen unseasonal rains and incessant floods in in Himachal Pradesh. We have also seen extremely hot temperatures in Andhra Pradesh. Temperatures rose up to 50 degrees Celsius here. All this is because of deforestation and climate change. Friends, my mother told me once that in 2014, a severe cyclonic storm called the Hudhud had ravaged through our city, and not a single tree remained standing. I mean, all the trees had been uprooted. That was when our Chief Minister, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, took up the initiative to make our city green and beautiful again. Look how green and beautiful it is today. But when I go through the grounds of the Andhra University today, it is so sad to see that the university, having been green, having a few months ago, has now turned into brown dust. So never mind about the past. Let us think about what we can do for the future to save this planet. Let us plant more trees and more saplings in our surroundings and in our cities. This way, we can also make all these trees grow, and our city and our world can be green again. So, will you join me to save this world? Giddy up, dig some soil and plant some saplings. This way, we can also make our cities lush and green, just like my hill stations. So, will you join me to save this world? So let's go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sagarika. A lovely speech. Not far behind from Sagarika is my youngest member and a brother of Sagarika. I call him as Jagannath. How did he get his name as Jagannath? Although his name is Mukund, why do I call him Jagannath? That is what is all his speech about. So please put your hands together for Mukund. You're ready, Mukund? Yes?
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you're audible. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. You can start your speech.
Good evening to one and all. My name is C. Viraj Mukund, and today I am going to tell about about my experience of Lord Jagannath when I went to the Puri temple in Odisha, at Odisha in India. Do you know the meaning of the word Jagannath? It is a massive, huge, powerful, overwhelming force that pushes you down. Do you know the origins of the word? It comes from Jagannath, of the Puri Jagannath temple in India. Lord Krishna is worshipped as Lord Jagannatha along with his sister Subhadra and brother Balabhadra. I heard a story that Lord Krishna's idol still beats in the that Lord Krishna's heart still beats in the idol of Lord Jagannatha. I don't know the veracity of that, but I sure did understand why the word Jagannath came from Jagannath when I went to the Puri Jagannath temple with my family last month. When I went to the temple, huge crowds thronged the temple portals, pushing and shoving all the way. I was crushed in the crowd. I got so scared. I could not even see Lord Jagannath. I saw several people carry their children on their shoulders so that they could get a better glimpse of the deity. But I just wished that the people followed in a queue and went inside in an orderly fashion way to make the darshan a more better experience. Or maybe they were just letting the Jagannath reputation live on. Oh well, thank you.
Thank you, Mukund, for a lovely speech. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know why we call him as Jagannath, right? He's the most uncrushable force. So one more round of applause for Mukund, please. Lovely, Mukund. Thank you so much. Here comes an 8th grader, and she loves to give a speech. And any time of the day you ask her, she's there. So please put your hands together for Shrikari.
Am I audible?
Yes, Shrikari, we can hear you.
Greetings, everyone. Now, we all love a good story, don't we? I mean, I do. My parents do. My grandparents do. My sister does. We all do. All of my family members do. So here I have with me an age-old story with a little twist. We all know the story of the turtle and the hare. Once upon a time, a turtle and a rabbit had an argument about who was faster. They decided to settle the argument with a race. The turtle and the hare both agreed on a route and started off the race. Once they started, the rabbit shot ahead and ran briskly for some time. But then it realized that the turtle was far behind and that it could rest for some time. So it decided to sit under a tree and take a little nap. But that nap didn't end up as well as you would expect it to. The turtle went on walking till it reached the finish line. Then it emerged as the undisputed champ. The rabbit woke up and realized that he'd lost the race. It was not very happy. The moral of the story is that slow and steady always win the race. Now, this is the version of the story that we've all grown up with. But the version of the story that I'm going to be narrating is a little different. So the story still continues. The rabbit was disappointed at losing the race and he did some thinking. He didn't know why he lost the race, and he realized he lost the race only because he was overconfident and careless, and also to an extent lazy. He realized that if he didn't take things for granted, there's no way the turtle could have beaten him. So he challenged the turtle to another race. The turtle agreed this time around too. This time around, the hare didn't stop once and ran continuously till it reached the finish line. It was several miles before the turtle. The moral of the story is it's good to be slow and steady, but it's better to be fast and reliable. The turtle did some thinking this time and realized that there's no way he can beat a rabbit in a race the way it was currently formatted. So he thought for a while and challenged the rabbit for another race, but on a slightly different route. The rabbit agreed. They started off, and the turtle ran as quickly as it could. But then, just as the hare, trying to be on par with the hare. But the hare stopped suddenly because there was a river and it couldn't quite cross the river. The turtle got into the river, swam, and reached the finish line. The moral of this story is to find your core competency and then change your playing field according to your core competency to succeed in life. The story still hasn't quite ended. The turtle and rabbit by this time have become very good friends, and they did some thinking together this time. They realized that their last race could have been much better if they participated together. So the turtle and the rabbit decided to do the last race again, but this time as a team. They decided to merge both of their strengths. So the rabbit started off first, carrying the turtle till the riverbank. And in the riverbank, the turtle carried the rabbit till it reached the other side of the bank. And then the rabbit carried the turtle again till they reached the finish line together this time. The moral of this story is that teamwork is always teamwork. I mean, it's good to be individually brilliant and competitive, but unless you're able to work with each other and harness each other's core competencies, you'll always perform below par because there will always be someone who's better than you and who's overall more competitive and brilliant than you. So teamwork is mainly about situational leadership, letting the person with the relevant core competency for a situation take leadership. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shrikari. A lovely speech on teamwork, which is the theme of the day, right? Unity in diversity. So nothing like to beat teamwork. Now we have a very vibrant speaker, Avanika, who is from grade 9. Please put your hands together for Avanika.
Hello everyone, am I audible?
Yes, Avanika, we can hear you.
Hello everyone, hope you are having a really good day. Marketing is no longer about the stuff you make, but the stories that you tell. Advertisements are messages that are sent to the public with the intention of influencing them positively regarding their appeal, products, or services. It can be in the form of a television commercial, announcement on the radio, flash ads on the internet, etc. Businesses make quite heavy investments when it comes to advertisements. We can say that an advertisement is successful when it is seen to increase the sales of the product or the service of the business. If we look closely at our monthly grocery purses, most of the things that we purchase are just under the influence of ads. Marketing has evolved over the years to do just that, get into people's heads. There are so many forms of marketing around us that we don't even know when we are being hit with ads. It has kind of become a part of daily life. Essentially, marketing teams are doing this by influencing the 5 senses, but primarily sight and sound. The visuals or the music or the voice during an ad have actually a very important role to play in how advertisements affect your subconscious mind. This is done by media outlets that keep promoting the same idea in varying methods. For example, the number of times that you've probably brought a packet of ice cream or chocolate just because the ad made it look really good is unbelievable. Along with advantages, advertisements also come with their fair share of disadvantages. Some of the advertisements are completely unrelated to their brand. Though advertisements decide a buying decision, make sure that you choose wisely. There are many mind games that are involved in making advertisements. There are many methods that we use. For example, a method called repetition. When you hear when the information is bombarded, one day your mind starts accepting the information no matter how illogical it is. Another method is called triggering emotions. This creates an association of your subconscious mind with the product or service shown in the ads. For example, slogans such as "Our company is the nation's pride," etc. It delayed action. Insert something in your mind which stays in your mind and is triggered at a specific time or at a specific event. For example, think of us when you have a celebration at home. Or even a last method called reverse action, which is none other than challenging the mind. They use slogans such as "Buy our products first, then trust us." These are also none other than false advertisements. Other than these, the marketing companies also use strategies like using famous people, such as actors, or even using different types of music or even visual effects to make you feel very attracted towards the advertisement. Do you remember all the times that you bought a specific product just because your favorite celebrity was in the ad of that product? All of us have been victims of fraud advertising. Now, when I look at my past purchases was when I actually understand what an impact ads have on us. I spent a lot of money on very free glitter pens or sticky notes, all to realize that they're actually the very same as everything else. Marketing teams also trick us by changing how the products look in their ads. For example, whenever you see cereals or cheese in pizzas, they usually just use glue to give you that attractive cheese pull or to make sure that the milk looks really, really shiny. They also use hairspray to make fruit look fresh so that you feel that the fruit is more juicy. Instead of ice cream, which melts, they use mashed potatoes. And they also use chemicals and soap to give you that bubbling effect in sodas. Not only in food, the same tactics are also applied for hotels and resorts. Using color gradation tools, the zooming in, and the wide angle tricks are all really famous because they completely change your mind and your perception about how the hotel actually looks. And most famously, these tricks are usually used in the beauty industry. They Photoshop the faces of models to make them look more attractive. All these tricks have unwanted effect on us. For example, they set unrealistically high beauty standards and make us develop really bad habits, and in turn, make us spend more money than on things that we actually don't need. Despite contrary beliefs, advertisements also have a lot of advantages. They assist in raising public awareness about new small businesses or goods or services. Such publicity aids in endorsing a person's particular needs or interest in a product. Additionally, advertisements also helps in locating missing people, businesses, properties, and more. People learn about neighboring businesses that are on sale or opening or new facilities through this. Advertisements are Advertisements are an ad in themselves. Then the art form is actually not as easy as it seems. Getting into the mind of the people in the span of few seconds is not an easy task to accomplish. Lots of research and study needs to be done to make sure that the message is conveyed in just the span of few seconds. Proper copy or script must also be written for the audience to understand what the ad is actually about. Proper advertisement helps in creating a bridge between the audience and the product shown in the advertisements. With innumerable different companies coming up every day, there is immense competition between advertising businesses. All things considered, ads can be harmful and beneficial. And yes, there are tons of mind games that are involved in making advertisements. Therefore, it is our responsibility to make sure that we filter what is useful to us and what is not. Given our current age, none of us can actually avoid advertisements, but we can decide what we should actually take in. Thank you.
Thank you, Avanika. Yes, advertisements do leave a lot of impression on us. Not far behind is our timer for the day. With her speech, please put your hands together from Himavarshini.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Yeah,
Hope
you're
I'm audible
audible.
and visible.
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am. So, my name is Himavarshini, and today I am the seventh speaker and also sorry for the disturbance. So, I am Himavarshini and I'm an 8th grader, and today I am here to speak on the topic 5 fingers. So, we all know that we have 5 uniquely designed fingers that are present on our hands and feet. But what we do not know is that more than philosophy, there is a large history behind the true meaning of these 5 fingers. So, let us jump into history to know the true meaning of these 5 fingers and also to know about the folk story of the 5 brothers, whom we are going to convert into our 5 fingers. So, once upon a time, there lived 5 brothers who were treated equally by their family members. And when they came of age, they chose different career options. So, the first brother got all the family's ancestral and personal properties. He settled well in life, but without doing any hard work. So we can say that he is a lazy person. Okay, so jumping on to the second person. The second brother settled better than the first brother and did a lot of hard work to achieve that. He got a job in a very good company and earned a lot of money and settled happily in life. And he had never experienced any downfalls. So we can say that he is an upright person. Jumping on to the third person, he is the most successful and happiest of the brothers because he is the most hardworking person in the family. Instead of staying at home, he left his house in search of work. He walked for a long distance and then, coming upon a village, he stayed there for a night in a house. The owner of the house felt pity for him and gave him job. After working in the job that he had received from the owner and earning enough money, he kept
his own business as a tour guide. Even though there aren't many tourist attractions that he knew, with the help of his skill and his marketing strategies, he was able to achieve a lot in life and settled well. So, the fourth brother led a very peaceful and calm life. Instead of going into any type of businesses, etc., jobs, he became a teacher. First, he went to a guru and then became a disciple of him, and always went and prayed to his guru with all his heart to achieve a lot of knowledge. After he completed his education, he went to become a teacher and kept a school where he taught students. He led a very peaceful life and with no stress and no angry feelings on anybody. The fifth brother was very innocent. Even though he knew that he's dependable, he went to work for his older brother, who was a teacher. So he knew that he is very innocent and cannot get careers that were suitable to him. So he dedicated himself to the school that his older brother ran. So these are the story of the five brothers. Let us convert them into the five fingers that we know today. The first brother is called the thumb finger as he's the lazy one. And we normally don't tend to use our thumb finger mostly while doing any work. The second one is called the index finger as he's always upright, and we always use the index finger to point at something or the other. The third brother is called the middle finger and is also known as the strong one. We always use the middle finger while writing or while doing any other work. The fourth brother is called the ring finger as we normally ornament the finger with rings or any other ornaments. So, we normally compare the ring finger with a teacher. The fifth brother is called the pinky finger as he is very small and dependable on the ring finger. If you had noticed, you can never bend your pinky finger without moving the ring finger. So, thank you for listening to my story. Over to Vajayanti ma'am.
Thank you, Himavarshini. Now we know why we have our five fingers, right? And the story behind it. And joining us all the way from Delhi, she was one of our initial members of Vishaka Orators. Please put your hands together for Yuvika.
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, Yuvika.
Sound check.
Yes, you're very much audible.
Okay. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Yuvika, a grade 10 student and a former mentee at Agora India, juniors in Vizag, learning and adapting under my mentor, Vajayanti ma'am, and Vishaka Orators juniors. My today's subject matter is the race to the moon. Yes, you heard me right. The race to the moon. The moon has been a loyal companion. It never leaves. It's always been there, watching steadfast, knowing us in our light and dark moments, changing forever just as we do. Every day, it is what it is. It means to be human, uncertain alone, uncrafted by imperfections. It is a different version of itself every day, sometimes weak and worn, sometimes strong and full of light. The full moon, they say, is an exuberant time of new romantic relationships, possibilities when we must trust our intuition, and recognize that now we have an opportunity to go for it. The moon is a representation of love. Haven't we often heard, I love you to the moon and back? I love you to the moon and back, a token of encouragement and motivation. Aim for the moon. If you miss, you'll hit a star, though that's scientifically incorrect, but never mind. And of course, for our Bollywood cinema, the moon and the moonlight are evident manifestations of perfect love and also lover. Bollywood poets and discovered the worth of moon long before Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or Richard Branson were battling colonize Earth's friendly little satellite to big benefits. But as they say, six of one and half of a dozen of the other. Along with our motive of love, Moon has become the cause of global uproar and conflicts. The space race began as a 20th century competition between two Cold Wars rivals, United States and the Soviet Union, to achieve superior spaceflight capabilities. It has its origin in the Basilisk mission missile based nuclear arms race between the two nations following World War II. The technological advantages demonstrated by spaceflight achievements was seen as necessary for national security and became a part of symbolic ideology of time. Oh god, that sounds all Greek to me, doesn't it to you? But with the course of time, the space race brought pioneer launches of artificial satellites, robotic space probes to Moon, Venus, and Mars, and human spaceflight in low Earth orbit, and ultimately to the Moon. As if Mother Earth isn't half annoyed, they are now bothering her brother. I don't even know if there are men on Moon, but if they are, they must be using Earth as their lunatic asylum. As part of human exploration of the Moon, numerous space missions have been undertaken to study Earth's natural satellite. And do you know that even before humans reached anywhere near the Moon, a reptile that we pet at home entered the lunar orbit? Can you make a guess? While Luna 10 became the first mission to enter orbit in 1968. Between 1968 and 1972, crewed missions to the moon were conducted by United States as a part of the Apollo program. Apollo 8 was the first crewed mission to enter orbit in December 1968, and it was followed by Apollo 10 in May 1968. 6 missions landed humans on the moon, beginning with Apollo 11 in July 1969, during which Neil Armstrong became the first person to walk on the moon. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. By the way, Armstrong missed the A in between. That's one step for a man, caused a little confusion among the listeners back home. At this time, nascent India was trying hard to stand its ground after a hasty and messy partition and ensuing bloodbath and crisis. Modern space research in India can be traced to the 1940s, when Indian scientists like C.V. Raman contributed to the scientific principles applicables in space science. After 1945, important developments were made in coordinating space research in India by two scientists, Vikram Sarabhai and the father of Indian space program, along with Homi Bhabha, infamously known as the father of nuclear space program in India and popularly known as the Rocket Boys of India by my Gen Z. India's space world of say began on November 21st, 1963, with the launch of US Nile Apache sounding rocket from Thumba near Thiruvananthapuram. Our first ever rocket. The rocket was taken to the launch site on bullock cars, and certain paths were carried via cycle. After all, who better than us Indians know that necessity is the mother of inventions? In decades in between, Indian rocketry blazed forth, celebrating success and learning from failures. A variety of rockets, aka launch vehicles, ASLVs, PSLVs, GSLVs, and their variants. With these, tried the tested workhorse. No orbits or low Earth orbits is beyond India's ISRO reach. ISRO's remote sense satellites are acknowledged as among the best in the world, as good as French Spot or the American Landsat. On the other areas where India took the world by surprise is with its foreign deep space, sending science missions to the moon and Mars. Putting Chandrayaan-1 spacecraft into the moon's orbit seemed like a piece of cake for ISRO engineers. That said, one of the payloads discovered water ice on the moon, and its mapping camera has sent thousands of invaluable pictures of the lunar surface. And now our nation has carved a niche by becoming the first nation to land on the south pole of the moon. Just yesterday, when India's landing module Vikram, which by the way is the name of my house at school, doubling my excitement and enthusiasm, Vikram made a soft landing on moon with this. India joins the elite club of countries to achieve a soft landing on the moon, after the US, the former Soviet Union, and China. Moon is though to hold important minerals, but one of the major goals of Chandrayaan 3 is to hunt water. Scientists say the huge craters in South Pole region, which are permanently in shadow hold ice, which could support human habitation on the moon in future. Yes, moon too has water. Did you know that? To put it mildly, aside of Maldives, the moon is the next most famous touring destination for all the power countries, Global West, and even private companies such as SpaceX. It would be interesting to see who gets the next piece of moon pie. Though, as an Indian, I must say that Indian space voyages, from carrying our first rockets on cycle and bullock carts to now reaching 3,84,400 kilometers away to the moon. We have come a long way. Let's hope that the Space Prejudice event a tourism capsule for us, enthusiastic as well. Lunar tourism may be possible in future if trips to moon are made available to private audience. Some space tourism startup companies are planning to offer tourism on or around the moon as the estimate of 150 million per seat. The moon is quite in demand. Now, I thank my mentor Vaijayanti ma'am and Agora juniors for giving me this opportunity to showcase my articulation and communicative skills and represent the Indian diaspora in the esteemed event. Thank you. I now sign off by saying I'm indeed over the moon. Thank you.
Thank you, Yuvika. You made us really reach for the moon now, right? Okay, so before I call my last speaker, I have a question to ask. For people who are spread all across the world, either it's morning, afternoon, and evening, or for some of you, it might be midnight. So we have a very short 5-minute session after our speakers to just check how awake are you. So please pay attention to the last speaker, Kundan Shragvi. Please put your hands together for Kundan.
Thank you, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, Kundan.
Thank you, ma'am. A book a day keeps all problems at bay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kundan Shragvi, and probably by now you all might have guessed what my topic is: books. So, my favorite books are the famous 5 series: Secret 7, Sudhamurti, Find Outers, and the list goes on. Now I started reading Nancy Drew, and I have no words to describe how much I love them. Do you remember the first time you went to a bookstore or a library? Well, I remember the first time I went to a bookstore. It was 8 years ago when I went to a bookstore called Pages with my parents and my brother. I was gazing around vaguely at the sight of so many books. My brother took a non-fiction book and started to read it. Now I wanted to do something too, but I didn't know what to do. I went to every corner in the bookstore. There were books, stationery, and no books. There were books everywhere. I had a world full of books. And at last, I chose the perfect thing to do. Can you guess what it is? It's playing on a slide in Pages, like not pages of a book, but the bookstore. But I had no idea that those very books in the bookstore would change me. My first love for books was the famous 5 series. It started 4 years ago in my library class in school. Teacher usually tells us stories, which she thought of narrating us the famous 5. Our period was for only 40 minutes, and our teacher used to exactly stop at the suspense part, which was very annoying. I had to wait a whole week for the next library class. So, after nearly a month and a half, our teacher completed the book. I was absolutely spellbounded after my teacher finished the book. I fell in love with those series since then. Now I love books so much that I open my textbook, pretend to read a lesson, but I quietly keep a storybook in between the pages, and whoever looks at me or glances at me, I look like I'm studying like a very good girl, but what I really do is read storybooks. I hate reading textbooks, except for English literature as it has stories. I'm always up for secretly reading storybooks. Books have actually helped me a lot over time. But maybe not while I was secretly reading, but books are important in many ways. Books allow us to travel to any part of the world without moving our feet. Whenever I read famous five run away together book, I feel like I'm on an island in a cave. And when I read Nancy Drew, I feel like I'm a detective. It's like homestaying vagabonds. That's the thing about books. They let you travel to any part of the world without moving your feet. Every book we read has the power to transport us into a different world filled with several amazing characters. Books can increase the power of our imagination and can act as a gate that opens doors to a dream world. Books are full of knowledge, joy, happiness, wisdom, and so much more in them. Books help you with a lot of things, and one of them has to be vocabulary. An example of one such instant of me learning vocabulary is when I was reading Secret 7 and I came across a lot of words. My favorite one has to be bamboozle, meaning fooling people. I really found that very unique. Even if you don't happen to notice it at times, your brain takes in a lot of these words, which is very helpful because clear communicating and vocabulary helps the message get through across to the listener. Books really brighten up your mood when you're a bit down. Like they have healing powers. Trust me. When I was really sad because I got scolded by my mother for chatting so much with my friends on my mobile, I went to a room and opened a book and I was idly flipping through those pages and I started to read it. And after some time, I slowly started to get immersed in it and I forgot that I was even upset about being scolded by my mother. Now, when you're not in a great mood and want to cheer yourself up, I suggest you take a book you like and start to read it and see the magic that happens. Oh, and then keep in mind, be careful while reading health books because some find like a diet of misprint. So, one of the great reasons that signify the importance of book reading in our lives is that books act as our best friends. Friends are one of the most important parts of our life. We can't imagine our life without a companionship of a good friend. Similarly, a book is like a best friend that constantly inspires us to become the best versions of ourselves. Books enrich our minds with knowledge just like a good friend. We can learn a lot from books as they can help us in overcoming our failures as well as shape our mind. There are numerous books written in several genres, such as fiction, non-fiction, novels, drama, thriller, and a lot more. Every book comes with its unique perspective. When we read a book, we get to learn about the struggles and hardships of various characters. Sometimes we can even relate to the situations to our personal lives. Understanding the situation of the characters of a book and how they overcome the difficult times and challenges gives you the courage and confidence to deal with your problems. Reading books make you empathetic because when you engage with fictional characters and understand their situation, it leaves a strong impact on your capacity to empathize with people. Having an empathetic attitude helps you grow into a better person. Books teach us a lot of life lessons, gives us solutions to our problems, gives you a new way and a new perspective to look at things and situations. Books mean the world to me, and to describe how much I love them, words won't be enough. And let me tell you, there's more treasure in books than in all the pirates' loot on a treasure island. Thank you.
Thank you, Kundan. Now is the time to check how many of us have actually heard what the speech is asked. If you have observed, I haven't given a single speech title. Why do you think so? Any guesses? I haven't announced a single person's speech title.
I guess you're going to give us the titles now and ask us which speeches they belong to.
Exactly. So otherwise, how do I know that you all were active listeners? Remember, to become a good speaker, as one of our speakers have mentioned, you need to be a good listener. Right? I'd like to listen to the youth, but we should pay attention to them. So let's see how many of you have done. Okay, quick question. Since you're still not familiar with the names, maybe do you want me to go with the number of the speaker, or do you want me to announce the name? What do you prefer? Name or number?
If it's number,
I mean,
that
which
means
speaker is who?
Okay, it depends on the list of speakers that were called in order then.
It'll be in the same order. Do you want me to repeat the order? Okay, the first speaker was Sagarika. Second speaker was Mukund. Third speaker was Shrikari. Fourth speaker was Avanika. Fifth speaker was Himavarshini. Sixth speaker was Yuvika. Seventh speaker was Kundan Shragvi. Okay. So let me see, who would like to tell me the speech title of Avanika, who is our speaker number 4? No good then, not done, not from my club. I know you all are active listeners. I want to see the active listening skills of the other people who logged in.
Perhaps we should call somebody from the audience then.
No, you know what I should do? Maybe I should ask the chief judge to put listening as a category in judging. What do you say?
Ooh, judges on the spot.
I can't remember the names, and I'm somehow not getting the numbers quite sorted out. Is there any chance that the speaker can speak up so we can see who it is? Because I think that'll help put them to the pace will help.
Okay, so I will make it easy for you. There was one speaker who was the youngest member of my club. I did introduce him in the same way. So, do you know what speech did he delivered? The youngest member of my club?
It can't have been the one about missing school, because that was in the contest.
That is in the contest. No. See, I have my members already ready to raise their hands.
Juggernaut.
Yes, Jeremy, it is Jagannath. The speech that he delivered was how the word Jagannath came into existence. Okay, maybe I will change the question a little bit. If it is possible, can you name the speaker who delivered a speech on being on the moon? Being on the moon? At least you can read the speakers' names now.
I can remember that she was speaking about the big battle between the US and the Russians. I remember she mentioned that Neil Armstrong left out the A from a man in his quote. I remember she mentioned about how India had found water in the moon, but I do not remember her name.
It's not the gist of the speech, it is who the speaker is.
I'm not good with names.
Anyone else? Who wants to take a guess? Come on, knock, knock. I have people already raising their hands.
Yuvika?
I'm sorry?
Is it Yuvika?
Yes, it is Yuvika who delivered the speech. Very good. Again, Jeremy gets the points. Okay, maybe one last question. Maybe I should ask from the speech. Okay, what was the message that Shrikari gave from her speech, The Hare and the Tortoise? Any takers? No?
There were several messages. Do you want them in order?
Yes, if you remember them.
The first one was that slow and steady wins the race.
Okay.
The second one was while it's good to be slow and steady, it's better to be fast and reliable.
Fantastic.
And the third one was that the thing to do is to plan for and play towards your strengths.
Yes.
And the fourth one was it's even better to work as a team and help each other where you're strongest.
Yes. Fantastic. So these were the 4 messages that you have got from one speech. Thank you, Casey. So the others, if you want to become good speakers, please be good listeners. So with that, I hand it back to Trisha. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Vijayanti, for the wonderful session of amazing youth speakers. Wow. Honestly, in that age, I would have just imagined myself still thinking about what to have for dinner and what's inside the refrigerator. I wouldn't be thinking about the revolutionary talking about landing on the moon, talking about books in such thorough detail and philosophy. I absolutely adore it so much. Thank you so much, everybody. Okay, now everyone, the moment we've all been waiting for. This is where we will decide and see who the winners are for the humorous speech contest that was held today for the first day of AGORACON. And I believe the one to announce the winners is going to be Chris Callahan from South Africa. So Chris, will you be taking the stage to announce the winners for the humorous speech contest?
Yes, I will. But of course, now that I'm sharing my screen, I don't know if you can see it. It's one of the downfalls of Zoom. So can you see my screen?
I can see it. Diversity. I can see it.
Excellent. If you can see my screen, I'm a happy man. So ladies and gentlemen, today you heard 4 speeches. Unfortunately, one of our speakers couldn't make it on time. You may think that these speeches were good. Perhaps you think they were superb and that the speakers need to be congratulated. I would concur with this, but there is more. You see, behind the scenes, there were all those participants in the semi-final competition. And beyond that, all of those who wanted to be here, but who are simply too terrified to try. It is those who are too terrified to be here that I want to speak to right now. Success in life is not about having some magnificent, unbeatable skill. It is far more about being prepared to try. You know, we have over 200 clubs in the world, but we didn't have 200 entrants. Why not? When we were little babies, we cannot walk. We can't even crawl. The ability is not there. But when we try to walk, the effort is stupendous, and we keep on stumbling and falling. But every single one of us here today has overcome that challenge. Everyone kept trying until they could crawl, and then walk, and maybe even run. So what happened to us in our grown-up lives that we have lost the gumption, the determination to get ahead at all costs, the ability to fall down again and again and again, and every time to get up and try again? If you and you were prepared today as you were when you were a baby, to have the determination to overcome what must have seemed an insurmountable hurdle, then perhaps you would be here today, waiting in the wings on tenterhooks for the results of today's contest. Remember, we are all friends. We work together to learn. Yes, we did hear some excellent speeches today, and I applaud the speakers for this. But even more so, I congratulate them all for having been determined not to lose the spirit and the grit that they were born with. It is this spirit that has brought them this far, and it is this spirit that, if nourished, will make them great leaders, like Tricia. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to congratulate and applaud all the contestants today. All the contestants will get a certificate similar to the one you see on the screen, either as a participant, a finalist, or one of the top 3 places. And of course, this is a contest, so there are winners. But remember, it is every single one of those who entered who is really a winner, because they had the determination to be here. And just before we go ahead and applaud the judges who gave their time and expertise to adjudicate the contest today, please, a moment to applaud. Ladies and gentlemen, in 3rd place, we have Maruna Zaharia with a Big Bad Wolf. In 2nd place, we have Justin Marion with his menu of questions. And ladies and gentlemen, we are not so conceited here in Agora Speakers International to call our winner the world champion, because we know that's not true. There are many languages and different competitions all around the world. But what we do know is that our winner is Agora Speakers International most humorous speaker, and that is Matai Patraspalan with the importance of being idle. Please give them all a round of applause. Thank you very much, Tricia, for your great running of the contest today.
And thank you very much, Chris. All right. So congratulations to all of our speakers today. And I think this calls for a little group photo in that case. I would like to pin all of the winners today. So from Miruna and then Mate. And I am losing, hold on. Justin, yes, there he is. All right. So for all the names that I have mentioned, could you please turn on your cameras so that we can have a little group picture? Okay. All right. Here are our winners, everyone. Get the cameras ready. Who would like to take a picture of this? Mike, are you part of the documentation team as well? Okay. Mike is definitely one that has plenty of jobs today. And honestly, I salute. But Mike, make sure that you can always tell us if you need any help. Don't worry. Okay. And our last, where is he? Okay. Mate. There we go. All right.
Who else is coming? Yeah, okay.
Okay, then let's take a picture, everyone. Mike, will you be taking the screenshot?
Maruna, okay, yeah, Maruna, you're showing. Let me just go print it, make sure it came.
All right, let's do a countdown then. Ready, Mike?
No, hang on just a minute. I'm just opening up WhatsApp. It doesn't want to work. It's there. Okay, let's go.
Okay, while we take a picture, while we wait for the camera to be set up, I believe that everyone here who is still standing with us all the way till the very end of today's conference to turn on your cameras as well. I actually do have a camera myself, so I believe I can help with the pictures too, Mike, no problem. Okay, so everyone who is still here, please show all your fresh faces, even though that it is 11:37 a.m. This is a time for us to be proud, everyone, for staying up or and for joining all the way until the end. Okay, I'd like to see all the pretty faces. Let's go. Okay, we still have, okay, Miss Vijayanti, if you'd like to turn on your camera, please do. Let's take a picture with everybody. Okay. All right, Mike. I think I can help take a picture for the winners, so no problem. All right, the winners. Let's have the winners first, all right? Get ready. Put on your best smiles in 3, 2, 1. Okay, very nice. All right. Okay, let's put this over first. Okay. All right then. Now, Mike, will you be taking a picture of everybody?
Okay, let's do that.
I can also help out. All right. Gotta save the picture first.
Yeah,
That's
I'm just trying to get, I'm just trying to get to, I mean, I've got all the 3 winners on the screen still.
All right, no worries. I've already taken the picture. Okay, for everybody else, any more cameras on? Anyone else would like to show their faces? Okay, all right, we have Sanja. Okay, hi Sanja. Nice to see you here. No problem. As long as you're able to still stick with us all the way and join us, that's really what matters. Okay. Oh, sipping my supper. Supper at this hour? That's amazing, Aaron. Okay. All right. Patrick Little, Angelina, anyone else would like to turn their cameras on? If not, we're gonna take another picture with everybody, so let's go. I think it'd be fun for us to put up a little reaction to make it more festive, you know. So I want you guys to choose your favorite emojis. It can be anything. Mine would definitely be, let's see, this one. There we go. It shows just how cool I am, even if deep inside I really am not. All right, everybody, let's put on your reactions. Go ahead and we'll take a picture, everybody, in 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Okay, we got it, the picture. All right. So with that, everyone, we officially put a close and wrap up our very first day of AGORACON. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining and watching all the way through. It was amazing for me, since AGORACON is something that I always look forward to every year, because I'm able to just have a little reunion with everyone from different clubs, and this is everything that I've ever asked for. So thank you so much, everyone. Don't forget that we still have 3 more days of AGORACON. So if you guys have time to join all the 3 other competitions, we have educational, social awareness, and I am losing my memory at the moment. Yes, so education, social awareness, and Mike, the last competition is? Oh,
it's storytelling.
Storytelling, that's right. Okay, yes, storytelling speech. Okay.
Storytelling.
Apparently this is what staying up a little too late does to you, everyone. That's right. Okay, so we will be meeting again the same time as today, and we'll see you all for the educational speech speech competition on Friday. Let's have fun and see each other again. Thank you. Bye, everyone.